Hello everybody. Welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. There's a link in the description below. Don't forget to leave a like. It is a free and easy way to support the channel. Sorry if I sound a little bit down or out of it. I pinched a nerve. I hit a nerve. I don't know, something in my, what the heck is this thing called? Anyway, on the left side of my body, on my back, and it is absolutely terrible. So I'm just trying to get through it the same as everybody else. Anyway, besides that, things are looking pretty good. Let's of course jump right into it to see what else is happening. What's the name of that thing? Like the shoulder blade. There we go. I don't know how, I don't know why. I've never like had a pinch thing before, and it's the opposite of fun. This made incredibly popular news, and I know why, and I also know why. So this made news because it is something significant. Got it. The second part of why I know why is because a lot of people are brand new to the cryptocurrency space. I've been saying this for a number of months. And no, it's actually been years now. I don't know if we're getting a lot of new people writing articles or just a lot of new people jump into the space. For those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, every now and again, and I want to say twice a month, there's something that pops into the news that ends up being incredibly popular. Not like lightly popular, but everyone kind of like, whoa, I can't believe that mom on my back, that's happening. But then when I go through, immediately when I saw this, I knew exactly what this was. And once again, it's nothing bad. You'll understand. And also, if you've been following this channel for a while, you're also going to understand as well. The super mega awesome, incredible popular news is the University of Austin. It says is pioneering. This is not them pioneering. The University of Austin is getting into Bitcoin investments among U.S. universities, marking a significant shift in institutional cryptocurrency adoption. The news, if you didn't get it, is that a university within the United States is investing in Bitcoin. And this is significant because it's the first time that it's ever been done, and no one's ever done this before, and it's the first time, like that kind of thing. But I'm going to show you once again that everyone got the news wrong. Everyone. Every single website who was reporting on this kept on mentioning that this was a major move and that it was only happening because of everything we've been hearing and the new crypto SEC and all these other investments and yada yada. Now, for some reason, universities are just getting into it. It says this innovative fund signifies a clear confidence in Bitcoin's long-term viability, as institutions increasingly recognize the digital asset's potential. Chun Lai, L-A-I, Chief Investment Officer, emphasized this commitment by stating, and I quote, "We don't want to be left behind when cryptocurrency's potential materializes dramatically," demonstrating a proactive approach to the investment. The University of Austin's new Bitcoin fund reflects growing institutional investment in crypto with a 5-year holding strategy, emphasizing long-term potential. So I don't know. It's just kind of, we get such good news in the cryptocurrency space, and it seems, and I know for a fact that a lot of people aren't paying attention. How do I know, you ask? How I know that people aren't paying attention? Does anyone remember what this sounds like? Does anyone remember remotely what happened a couple of years ago? And that was also like significantly major news, and then people forgot about it immediately a year after something else just like it happened. For those of you not looking at the screen, this is an article. It says published 25th of January, 2021. Harvard, Yale, and Brown endowments have been buying Bitcoin for at least a year. University endowments that backed blockchain venture capitals in 2018 have started buying crypto directly from Coinbase. Once again, this is a number of years ago. This was also very significant, and this is why I have a really big problem with every time that we get some kind of news, it's the only thing that people pay attention to. People keep forgetting that this is happening and has been happening for a while. This is back to the discussion where I was mentioning before. It's insane. It is literally near psychotic to think that BlackRock started accumulating Bitcoin in January of 2024. You think Harvard, Yale, and Brown got there before BlackRock? No, it's nonsense. They've all been buying for a very long time. When I keep saying that it's like rich people and institutions who are buying all of it, if you want to even be more realistic, for those of you who missed it, this was sometime last summer. There was all these articles talking about the Bitcoin millionaire wallets and the richest wallets that were out there. And people were looking and they found that, I don't know the exact number, but whatever the number is, has around 90% of all the Bitcoin in their wallets. And people were like, centralization. And I was like, no, you haven't been paying attention. When the market went down in 2018, everyone left. I remember, I don't know if any of you are still here. Hello, if you are. I remember people writing in the comment section in 2018 and 2019 that they were shocked that I was still here because every single cryptocurrency channel stopped making videos. All of them. At some point, it was like me and two other people who were the only ones who were still here during the, bear market, if you will. Everyone left. Who stayed and who entered? The companies who were like, this thing was $400. It went to 10,000 and to 20,000. They looked at the charts. They looked at the accumulation levels. They looked at how many new people were making wallets every single day. And they were like, let's start accumulating now when Bitcoin's price is at $3,000 because it's going to go back up. Bitcoin goes up to 60-something thousand. Everyone rushes into the market. Bitcoin falls back down to 15,000. Everyone leaves. Everyone's terrified. Everyone can't. But it's just the same freaking loop over and over. It's really insane. You can't begin to imagine, and I think this is real. You can't begin to imagine how many of these institutions have been here for a very long time. You are not the first one to figure this out. You and your friends were not geniuses back in 2022 of thinking of getting into the market. We know that I'm more than a handful. It's probably around 20. We used to have a lot of news in 2018 that a lot of these companies were actually getting into Bitcoin in 2014. 2014, like actively, heavily getting into it. The issue is that if for people in crypto, explicitly, for people in crypto, if they don't hear it directly from the horse's mouth, if they're not hearing that person, that institution, that school stand on stage and say, hey, we've been buying Bitcoin, then no one believes it. Did you also notice something about the date? I mean, just even the year. It's 2021. This was before anyone anywhere on the planet had any kind of a Bitcoin ETF. They've been buying spot for years. They own this crypto directly. So upon hearing that the University of Austin did it, I was like, okay, that's cool. But it was one of the most popular news stories out there, and I couldn't figure out why. And I was reading through the articles, and it was because everyone was writing like, this is the first American university to ever do this. There's been no other universities on the planet. And it's like, you don't understand how big money actually works, like what the allocation of all these things are. Remember I told you before, if you have $100 million, you don't have $100 million in your bank account. You have $14 million apartments. You have $20 million in stocks. You have a bunch of art. You have tons of other assets. You allocate that money into different places. These universities, for those of you who do not know and are abundantly well aware, U.S. universities are explicitly for profit. People have done calculations before as far as like how much these schools cost year on year, especially since the 1970s and 1980s. They haven't kept up with inflation. They've obliterated inflation. Schools in America, private schools, should maybe cost around $5,000 a year. Yeah, you heard that correctly, but they cost around 50, 60, 70,000 because they've convinced everyone that this is what you need to pay to be able to go to school. So if the actual cost of housing you and of actually like sending you to school per se is 5,000, can you imagine what they do with the other 65,000? They invest it. That's what these endowments are for. The endowments of these universities are usually in the billions of dollars, $25 billion, $38 billion with a B. You think you can get that if you actually charged what schools should cost per year? No. So they use all this extra money to become richer. If you get a chance, like look into documentaries on it. Like it's not me making up stuff. I'm once again, I don't even care if you think I'm making up stuff because I'm so exhausted with me telling people that water is wet and like the sky is blue and people are like, wait. Well, I heard the other day and it's like, well, you heard completely wrong. They're all for profit. All for profit. They use your money and they profit from it. If you look at the actual endowments of many, not even just like the Ivy League ones, many universities within the United States, their art collections rival museums. Because every year they're buying a huge amount of art. You want to know what they're also buying? I had a friend who was working for this company who was basically like I don't even know what the heck to call this thing. Basically, these large companies and institutions and endowments would contact his company he was working for. And they would say, hey, we have around $115 million that we don't know what to do with. Can you help us allocate it somewhere? His job was to fly around. I'm not joking. Fly to different cities. He would usually go to London, Paris. He would go to Milan sometimes. And I forgot what it wasn't Amsterdam. I forgot what the other city was. And he would literally like look up real estate for them to buy. So he would tell them, okay, we found about 15 buildings that you can buy. And that'll cost you around a good like $80-90 million. And then also the extra money, we assume you would want to buy some kind of commercial real estate as well. And they would go, cool. And I was asking him how frequently this happens. He says it happens all the time. Like this is the reason for the company. It's not like you get one phone call and you're like, yeah, we made it. No, this company was booming because all of this money they had extra. They didn't know what to do with it. So they just invested into other places. Remember I told you before how like all these like families and other rich people own like 10 to 15% of London and Washington, D.C. and Paris. Look into who owns New York. You'll be shocked because it's not at all who you think. It's, of course, they've been buying Bitcoin for a long time. And I said it for every other coin as well. We were getting, and it's really crazy because it definitely has to do with the energy in the room as far as like, how do I even say this? Like kind of like understanding like where money goes and like what trends are. So remember how like a lot of times we kept on getting like a lot of like whale buying news. If you weren't here, typically it seems to be more dramatical during a bear market when prices are down. We'll get a lot of news about whale wallets buying huge amounts of coin while prices are down. The articles, every single time, they always say the same exact thing. Despite prices being this low, it looks like whales are buying. No, they're buying because prices are low. Do you remember how we kept on getting tons of like Ethereum whale news, buying huge amounts of Ether. And even now, if you missed the last couple of videos, within the last, it's now been like 7 or 8 days. Just BlackRock and just the wallet address associated with Trump that Trump owns purchased over $800 million worth of Ether. Now, what happens when normal people aren't paying attention and all this accumulation continues to happen? We get news articles that say whales own 90% of Bitcoin. And people go, how is that possible? How do you think whenever there's like a downtrend, whenever prices go sideways, and it's not even like when you're not paying attention, it's like it's also in the news. How many people are going to who are hearing this, who are going to react to another university buying Bitcoin? Like really? Like what does that do for you? Like when you hear this news, does it rile you up? Does it bore you? Does it make you think, well, that's an an endowment. That's a university. I'm not a university, so who cares? The prices aren't skyrocketing. Why should I care? Guess who does care? Always the people with money who already have all the assets, who continue to buy up everything. If Bitcoin goes to several $1 million per coin, how many of you are going to be angry because you don't own any of it? Or you weren't paying attention? Or you didn't think it was that serious? Remember years ago? Oh, I loved this part. I remember years ago, so many people, and I kept on to, because no one knew where any of this market was going to go. So I kept on saying, I was like, try and just pay attention to some of the biggest coins because it looked like, they'll be around for a while. Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP. How many people were always like, well, I'm buying Bitcoin Cash, Satoshi's Vision, because it's going to outdo Bitcoin. I'm buying Tron. And I'm like, you don't want to pay attention. How many of you, upon hearing me say the words 4 years ago, Harvard, Yale, and Brown were buying Bitcoin? Do you think they stopped? Do you think they did it once? Tuition fees go up every single year, right? These people have like millions of dollars of extra money, more than that, every single year extra. You think they stopped buying Bitcoin? Remember all the times we kept on getting Litecoin buying whale news? XRP buying whale news? Remember Brad Garlinghouse saying that they're in contact with all these institutions within the United States of America who are also looking to buy XRP? Did a lot of you forget? I'm sure you did. A lot of the validators for transactions on XRP, do you know where they are? They're in universities. What? Crazy, right? Yeah. So how many people are going to react after this video? How many of you are going to buy XRP? How many of you are going to buy Litecoin? How many of you are going to buy Bitcoin or Ethereum? I only see mainly 2 hands. Because everyone waits for the prices to go up, for things to get too restrictively expensive, and they go, oh gosh, if I had a time machine, I wish I could buy more. And it's like, do it now. What are you waiting for? Like, are you waiting for 7 years in the future when you can't buy anything? What's the holding back for? Why is everyone so afraid, especially when prices go down? Are you insane? That's when you buy. And it's not even like that's not financial advice. Do you know how markets work? You buy the house when the market is down. You buy the land when people undervalue it. When everyone else leaves, you've seen those memes before. Was like a huge line of people standing in line. It says like for Bitcoin at 90,000, but there's like another vendor and he's selling Bitcoin at 10,000 and there's no one standing there. It's because it's true. When prices are down, you think it's not worth it, so you avoid it. Remember I told you all those years ago, this was 2009, maybe 2010. I think it was a Chinese investment company. Anyway, the point is, Detroit was like doing really, 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 really bad. And these people, this was back when, I don't know if it's still the same. This was back when you could buy houses in Detroit for like $1, like a literal dollar, not like a symbolic dollar. It was like, no, like, please take this from me. So they bought blocks, and I think it was like 16 by 16 blocks. Like it was a huge, gigantic area, and they redeveloped and built on it. And the people were, people were like, well, that land's garbage. Like it's not worth anything. The homes on top of it are $1. Yeah, that's great. So give me all of it. I'll give you $500. Now I'm going to build high rises, and I'm going to build like a new little like small city within a city, and it's going to be beautiful. And there's going to be parks, and there's going to be things to do. Guess what? It's worth a ton of money now. It keeps happening over and over. The only people who pay attention are those with money. It's exhausting. So yes, cool, awesome, amazing. The University of Austin has a Bitcoin fund. Fantastic. Harvard, Brown, and Yale, and I assume all the other ones are buying as well. Once again, look into it. Look into exactly what these endowments have. I think if more people actually understood the level of asset allocation by all institutions. I won't tell you one because I know it's going to peeve people if I say it. But look into it. Look into who owns what and where and how much of, and you'll understand explicitly that rich people didn't enter crypto in 2019 or 2020 being like, maybe, I don't know, should we do it? No, they've been here for years. They've been lying to you and everyone else that they're like, I don't know, like crapto. I've never heard of it. How do I get into that? Remember that billionaire a couple of weeks ago who was like, I have a minuscule amount. And I was like, you are worth billions of dollars. I know you have at least $30 million worth of Bitcoin. Anywho, a lot of people are going to forget this news in about 6.5 minutes. And yeah, let's move on. Also, in a very popular news, the Chicago Board Options Exchange, known as the CBOE, has officially filed applications for multiple XRP exchange-traded funds, marking a significant development in the cryptocurrency investment landscape. The filing, submitted on behalf of asset managers Bitwise, WisdomTree, 21 Shares, and Invesco Galaxy, signal growing interest in the expanding crypto investment options beyond Bitcoin and Ethereum. There have always been institutions who are into other coins. However, it's just been very specific coins. How Bitcoin maximalists managed to lie to everyone for about a good 7 years plus that there was no interest in multiple other coins. Like really chef's kiss genius, making other people believe I was here, that Bitcoin Cash Satoshi's vision, Tron, Bitcoin Green, Bitcoin Yellow, Bitcoin Red, Bitcoin Diamond. There was also like a weird Litecoin thing, Ethereum Classic, you name it, that at any point that these were going to be the actual coins. When we even heard for years from Ripple that they were actively working with institutions and banks within the United States of America, people assumed because of the lawsuit that they had like a gag order and simply couldn't talk to these institutions anymore. And it's like, for the love of everlasting goodness, it is so ridiculous. And I tell you once again, I don't want this to be like an I told you so moment, because there have been many. But you sit here and it's like the amount of people last year who were like, what, remember? There's never going to be an Ethereum ETF. We get the Ethereum ETFs. There's never going to be an XRP ETF. When we get these ETFs, they're going to be screaming about Litecoin. They're going to be screaming. It's so ridiculous. Institutions are here. What do you think Brad Garlinghouse has been doing for the last 7 years? Just trying on new suits and sitting down? Like, no, there's so much money flowing into this space. But once again, how do I say this? I think if you've been afforded the opportunity over the course of a decade to know what crypto is, and you yourself had the physical and mental capacity to learn more, to really dig deep, and I mean even at surface level, if you were just watching my videos, you saw how many banks are Ripple partnered with? How many institutions do they work with? Do you remember all the corridors that they were opening for like actually transmitting money between countries, like on like an institutional and like a legal level? If you were here, you know you should have expected all of this stuff. So XRP is, once again, at the time of me making this video, they're going to get their ETFs listed through. Apparently, from what we've been hearing from the ETF specialists, it's just a matter of like other paperwork and extra filings, like things being like filed in. Like, remember before for the Bitcoin ones, we had all the analysts who were like, okay, all that's left is to file this one. Okay, that one's been filed. Now we need one more filing for this. Now we need one more person to sign off. And we were getting people on Twitter who were like, okay, like it's happening. Like 3 or 4 days before, and everyone was like, nothing's happening. And then we found out that like it was actually indeed happening. This is usually the next step, like it actually being filed by the CBOE. If you missed as well, I think it was the NASDAQ. I don't remember anymore. There's so much stuff going on. We also know that the Litecoin ETFs and, oh gosh, what's the other one? It's not the Solana one. There was another one that's also looking like it's going to get pushed through as well. XRP has long been a subject of regulatory scrutiny, particularly due to the ongoing legal battle, SEC. Despite this, the latest ETF applications highlight increasing confidence in XRP's potential as a tradable asset on major exchanges. If you also didn't see, I think the rumors are, or the confirmation is, I don't know, question mark. Brad Garlinghouse is going to be, is, or will at some point be working in the White House. He's very buddy or knowy. They know each other, him and Donald Trump. What's the other thing? Oh gosh, I'm forgetting it. He's also rumored to be part of that that crypto task force. If you don't know what that is, that was something that was created about 3 weeks ago. That will basically be a group of people who work inside the White House who are going to figure out how to create a, oh gosh, what is it? A digital asset reserve for the United States. And one of the other rumors, besides everything else, is that if Garlinghouse is indeed part of this, obviously XRP would then also be a part of the United States' reserve, which is also riling people up as well. They're going public this year. The stablecoin is launched. It's being listed on other crypto exchanges. They have multiple ETFs. I'm missing like 5 other things, but there's a whole bunch of other. Also the integration with them in Bitcoin and Cardano and XRP, you name it. Speaking on the development, Bloomberg ETF analyst, his name is James Seifert, noted this is just a first step. We'll need to see a 19B-4 and a S1 filing before the SEC officially acknowledges them and sets a decision timeline. His comments suggest that while the filings are notable milestone, the approach process could take time. It is what it is. There's another one. I don't have it here. The other ETF, there's another one. It's meant to be a Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF. I think that one also, it's not delayed, air quotes, but I think they'll vote on it or say yay or nay sometime in March or April. One of those two timelines. And I assume it's because they have about 25 different filings for multiple different cryptocurrency ETFs at the moment. Yeah, I'm expecting summertime is going to be very different. I'm noticing a little bit more optimism within the space, but there's still this like air of like sadness or something like that. We spoke about that in the other video as well. And I really don't understand. I think people like being sad. I think people like being negative. I think that people like having like a bad time. It's not even like misery loves company. It's like I'm miserable, so like I'm going to just sit here and kind of like wade in the sadness. I don't know why people do it. But everything in crypto looks great. Like all the time. Every single day. Can you remember the last time that we actually had like bad news besides prices going down? That's all manipulation by institutions who are trying to buy while you're not paying attention. Can you remember like actual bad news besides FTX? Every single day, the news gets more and more amazing. Institutions continue to buy. MicroStrategy is buying again. If you missed it, they said they were going to take a little hiatus or a little break. Nope, they purchased, what was it, like 15 million, like 3 days after or something like that. $800 million worth of Ethereum was purchased by 2 entities. Imagine if you did like 50 entities over the course of a week. Yeah, everything looks great for crypto. So any kind of negativity, I hope it goes away for all of you because it is completely unwarranted. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day. Hope you all don't have any back pain. I've been sitting here. You don't understand, like trying not to move my left arm. I mean, it worked. Like, it definitely worked, but it still feels terrible. Thank you all once again, as always, for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.